Hi everyone, and welcome to our Monday night, day 1 of 21 of the Yoga Challenge together. My name is Antoinette, and I'm so looking forward to this practice with you all tonight. Really am. It's going to be a really great practice. I'm just letting some other people come in on our Zoom. And hi back on Facebook. So we put this challenge together so that, you know, as the New Year's roll on, right, we start to let some of our New Year's resolutions start to wane, right? And so this is a way to kind of rededicate yourself to your practice of creating some new habits for yourself. And as I was just saying to my students on Zoom, the other thing that I wanted to say is that this could also be a 21 days of developing a new habit in addition to moving your body that you might have wanted to start to work on, such as maybe not drinking alcohol, or maybe eating better, being mindful of what you're putting into your mouth each day. Or maybe it's developing actually some sleep pattern that works for you so that you can start to get a better night's sleep. Whatever it might be, that you start to dedicate yourself to this 21 days. And as one of the students asked, you know, is this going to be every day? It is every day. But if you have issues with one day, then you could skip the day, or the classes are going to be recorded both on the Sibley Facebook page under my site called Treble Yoga, which is what we're on now. Or you can also go to YouTube and go to Sibley Memorial Hospital, and all of the classes will be recorded on the YouTube channel for Sibley. And that way you can access the classes the next day, and if you had to skip a day during the weekend, you can access the class also by tuning in or searching on Monday. So that's that as far as housekeeping goes. The last thing is going to be props. So, you know, as with every yoga class, a mat is a great thing to have. If you don't happen to have one yet, you can order them on Amazon. The other thing are yoga blocks. So yoga blocks are not necessary completely, but we are going to be doing a few things in this 21-day challenge with regard to balance. I'm going to teach you something called the pelvic list, so that you can focus more on balance on hips, buttocks, and hamstrings. And so we will be standing on one of these. And so, and for those who have balance issues, you can hold on to a chair or to the wall. And so I'll guide you on that as well. And speaking of the chair, so the chair is something that I highly recommend for those who have any balance issues whatsoever. A lot of my students on Zoom use chairs, and the chair can be a wonderful prop to be able to get in and out of a warrior pose just by holding on to the edge of it. It can also be, instead, if you can't get down to the floor, it can be that tool that helps you just still be able to be in a tabletop pose and be able to lift and lower, or come into poses like a side angle pose or something like that. There's no reason why you can't use a chair. Yeah, it's something that is a great tool to have. So just know, like when we're in a tabletop pose and you happen to be that person that needs the chair, so just go ahead and use the chair as your floor, right? A blanket if you have it, also to pad your knees. And then finally a strap, so that way we can do some stretching together. So those are just a few tools. The last thing is this. So I'd like us to be able to focus on arms one night. And so if you have weights, 1 pound to 10 pounds, depending on who you are and what you're able to actually lift, that you might get a weight, or maybe 2 sets that you have. If you don't have 2 sets of weights, then you can do what I do when I'm doing my physical therapy, and that is to use a can. And that way you can still get that range of motion. We can still do some different resistance training pieces, and it's something that's accessible, and you don't have to go out and buy weights. So those are just a few things together, okay? So thank you guys so much for this practice, and I also wanted to say thank you to Sibley Hospital for the support in making this challenge happen, and all the people that are on Zoom tonight. They're all employees and people of our community practicing together. It's so exciting to me, and everyone on Facebook too. So let's start off in Sukhasana in an easy pose, right? A crisscross fashion on the floor. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everybody's muted on Zoom. And tonight, since I've been talking, we'll go about 5 minutes over. Sometimes we will do that. And just to let you know that'll be, that way we can kind of honor a good hour so you have Shavasana as well as movement and meditation. So sitting in Sukhasana, let's start off there. As we sit in Sukhasana, it's a good time, if it feels safe to you, to go ahead and close the eyes. If it doesn't feel safe to you, you can bring the gaze about 1 or 2 feet out in front of you. The hands can be down in your lap, or you can bring your hands to prayer, however it feels good to you. But either way, sitting as you close your eyes or bring the gaze soft, we start to sit taller. Now remember, if you might be that person that's sitting on the floor and you have issues coming down to the floor, maybe that the knees don't really allow or the hips are super tight, you could take your yoga block if you have it and go ahead and sit on that block. It allows the knees to open a little wider. If you don't have your yoga block yet, you could also just take a blanket or a pillow from your couch and be able to sit on that. And that way it elevates the torso a little bit and allows you to really access this pose a little bit easier. And eventually, as we practice together, it will get easier. Things will start to become a little bit more open and mobile, right? So let's take a moment just so that we can go inward. As we close our eyes or keep our gaze soft, taking a good deep inhale in and an exhale out, we allow things to settle, but we also, on that in-breath, start to sit up erect and dignified. We start to open the chest, maybe bring the shoulder blades slightly together. We sit up a little taller, as if we're growing through the crown of the head. Taking a good deep inhale in and an exhale out. An inhale to go within, and an exhale to connect with the mat, the earth. Each in-breath and out-breath. As we sit here to start our practice, finding gratitude in where you are right now. You came to your mat today to practice, to move your body and to breathe. Gratitude for that and the ability to move your body. Remember, in your home studio, you can inhale deeply and audibly sigh out to release any tension that you might feel. And with that breath from Kristen Armstrong, I wanted to offer this to you, that it's not only moving that creates these new starting points. Sometimes it's just this subtle shift in perspective, in an opening of the mind, an intentional pause and reset, or a new route to start to see new options and new possibilities. That's what this practice is about for 21 days together. Let's open our eyes now. Take our hands, make fists with our hands. Let's create a little tension just to start. Making fists with the hands, we'll start to, on the inhale, drawing the shoulders up toward the ears and starting to draw the shoulder blades back together, and then exhaling down the arms. Do that again. Inhale, creating tension of the upper body, shoulder blades round and come back together, and then exhale down. Let's inhale as we rise the arms up, creating some length in the arms as we reach up. Good deep inhale. And then let's exhale down the arms. Now as you do, make it count. We're only doing this a few times, so we reach out and extend, lengthen, inhaling, exhaling down. Again, you can audibly sigh it out. You're by yourself. Reach up, extend, good deep inhale. And let's exhale out halfway. We fan the hands out. We start to puff the chest out, maybe take a look up. So we're using the core as we sit here, sitting bones down, rooting down and rising up with the arms as we inhale. And then let's exhale and bring the hands together. We start to round the back, sinking the back toward the back of the room. And then as we inhale, you're going to give somebody a huge hug, which we wish we could. Exhale, let's start to round the back. Hands come together. Inhale, reaching out. And exhale, hands come together. Last time, inhale, reaching out. Just take your hands and flick your wrists back and forth. Again, you start to look at bicep and tricep just by taking this motion, inhaling and exhaling. And then pause and bring it down. Gently roll the shoulders back and roll the shoulders forward. And then let's come up. Good deep inhale, reaching up, inhaling. As we exhale, let's twist over to the right side. So left hand comes to the right knee, and that right hand is padded right behind the buttocks, the sacrum area. We start to push the torso up with our hand rooting down to the ground. Take a look over toward the right. As you inhale in, exhale, and without twisting from the shoulders, twist from the abdomen, and maybe start to take a look toward that right shoulder. If the eyes can travel even farther, maybe you look beyond that right shoulder just with the eyes. Good deep inhale in, you let the belly expand and then contract back. And now let's come back, reaching up as we inhale. Good deep inhale here. Exhale, let's come over to the other side, taking our right hand to our left knee and our left hand right behind us. Patting that left hand on the mat will push the torso forward. Again, we're twisting from the abdomen so we get that kind of detoxification, right? Good for our digestion and our elimination. Inhaling, taking the abdomen out like a balloon, and exhaling, contracting back, maybe taking a look toward that left shoulder now, and then maybe with the eyes looking even beyond that left shoulder. Let's come back again, reaching up, inhaling, both arms come up. Let's exhale down just the right arm. So we start to hug that right elbow in toward the body. As we do, again, patting that right hand, we can start to push up with that right hand, reaching up high with the left arm. And then on the exhale, let's head over to the right side. Reaching long through the left middle fingers. Let's come back up again as we reach up and inhale. And exhale down left arm. Again, hug that left elbow in toward the body. Push down with the left arm, rooting down, and rise up with the right arm. And then on the next breath, let's head over to the left side. So we start to feel that nice lengthening along that right hip, maybe traveling all the way up to the right fingertips. Coming back, good deep inhale, reaching up. Exhaling out once more. Good deep inhale, holding the chest out. Exhale, let's round the back, just to give a little relief to the lower back since we've been sitting up. Inhale, coming out. And then exhale, coming down. Let's roll over onto our hands and knees. Now remember, on your hands and knees, if you have knee issues, then remember you can just take the blanket, pad the knees, and then come down to your tabletop. If you have any wrist issues, and I'll constantly be doing some wrist breaks for you to give you some relief, you can take the forearms down to the block if you have blocks with you in this home practice tonight. So lots of options here. As we come into tabletop, patting the hands in front of us, we starfish them out. That way we have full support of the hands. The wrists are right underneath the shoulders as we come into this tabletop. Let's take a moment now. So if you have no cervical issues, right, then you can come into what we call cat and cow. We'll take an inhale in. As we do, we'll sway the back and we'll start to take a look up with the eyes and the chin. If you have cervical issues, you can just stay in a neutral position. As we exhale, let's start to round the back. On this first 1/10, the fingertips like you're going to play the piano. Push up with the fingertips. So you feel the strength of the fingertips. They're so important to us, right? We're always on our different media devices. On the inhale now, let's pad the hands and sway the back once more. Taking a look up with eyes and chin. Exhale as we round the back. Inhale, swaying the back, looking up. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, swaying. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Pausing here. Let's exhale and take a look over toward that right shoulder. So we start that glance, and then we start to kind of C-shape the body as we hinge in and keep looking over toward that right foot now. If the knees and hips allow, we could sink into that left hip just a little bit so we get a nice stretch there. Coming back on the inhale, back to your neutral tabletop position, kind of a foundational position for us. Exhale, we'll look over toward the left shoulder and continue as we kind of C-shape the body and continue to look over toward that left foot. Again, if the hips allow, we'll sink into that right hip. So a nice stretch here. Let's do that again with a little bit more purpose as we inhale in. Exhale, looking over to the right shoulder. Continue that glance over to the right foot. Sink in if it feels good. Coming back, inhaling. Exhaling, looking over to the left shoulder. Continuing the glance over to the left foot or maybe sinking in. Come back again. Back to your neutral tabletop position. Up onto your knees now. Just shake the wrist out for a minute. It'll start to get better the more you do it, but for these first beginner practices, it's good to just take a break from the wrist if they start to hurt you. Let's take that right foot out to start. So as we press that right foot back, take the great toe and then take one toe down and then another and then another, so you kind of splay the toes out. Our toes might have been crammed into shoes or snow boots today. I see the snow coming down from my window right now. We push back gently on that right calf. Now as you do, flex that right buttock so that way you feel some stability in that right leg. Gently roll up onto the ball of the feet if it feels okay, bending the toes of that right foot. Coming up onto the shoelaces part of the foot, you can gently just start to drag that right foot forward, maybe like a micro inch, right? And then push back gently on that right calf again. We're gently going to bring that right foot over, right heel over rather, to the left corner of the mat. Take the left hand down into the middle of the mat and let's rise our right hand up to 12 o'clock. Just pad the toe down, the right sole of the foot down on the mat so you can root down with the left hand and rise up with the right. Inhaling in, let's exhale and take that right arm up and over the body. Reach and extend. Just a nice stretch here. Come back as you windmill the arms over and down back to your tabletop position. Keep that right leg out and then gently bring that right heel over to the right corner of the mat. And if it feels good to you and you're okay with that right wrist, you can kind of sink into that right hip if that feels good to you. Again, finding your breath here without holding your breath while you're making these motions. Good deep inhale here. Exhale and bring that right foot up. So we start to bring the right pinky toe slightly down toward the right corner of the mat. And then we can take our left hand out if that feels good to your balance. Coming into what we call bird dog. We reach and extend with the left hand and right foot. Or if both your hands are down, that's fine. Just focus really on kicking out with that right heel if you're there. Take a good deep inhale in here. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our elbow and knee in toward one another. So we start to access the abdominal core, and then we're going to reach out, inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, coming out. Exhale, coming in. Now as you kick out, really kick out with that right heel. Exhale, coming in. Last time, inhale, coming out, pause here. Just touch down the left hand and the right foot to the corners of the mat. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, touch down. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, touch down. And inhale, come back up. Good deep inhale here. And then exhale, let's come back to our neutral zone of tabletop. Take the right wrist and flick it if you need to, giving it a break. And let's take the left foot out and go to the other side. So you kind of know where we're going to go now, right? As we push back gently on that left calf. Take a good deep inhale in. Flex the left buttock, right? It's important, so foundationally as we come up into different poses like a lunge, you can use that back leg as your power leg in addition to the quadricep of something you're standing on. You can roll up onto the ball of that left toe, left foot, maybe to the shoelaces part of that left foot. And again, maybe as you're on the shoelaces part, if it feels okay to you, you feel the left quadricep engage, left kneecap. And then push back again gently on that left calf. Let's gently windshield wiper that left heel over toward the right corner of the mat. Pad that right hand in the middle of the mat. And then start to draw that left hand up to 12 o'clock, reaching up. So rooting down with that right hand, reaching up with the left. The sole of the left foot is on the mat. Good deep inhale. As we exhale, let's extend and reach that left arm up and over the body. So you feel a nice stretch here. If it feels comfortable to you to slightly open up the left hand to give yourself a little space, then go there. Another good deep inhale in, and as we exhale, let's round over, come back to tabletop, and leaving that left leg out, gently bring the left heel over toward the left corner of the mat, if it feels okay on your left wrist, and start to hinge into that left hip. We're just giving some opportunities for stretching and opening into tight places. Good deep inhale in. Exhale, start to bring that left foot up, Left pinky toe down toward the mat. Right hand comes to the right corner of the mat. And then on the inhale, we can raise up that right hand. Reaching out and extending, coming into bird dog on this next side. Inhaling in. As we exhale, let's bring in elbow and knee. So you know where we're going to go with this. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, coming in. Inhale, reaching out. And exhale, coming in. Inhaling as we reach out and extend, kicking out with that left heel. And exhale, coming in. Inhaling, reaching out. And exhale, coming in. Inhaling as we reach out and extend. Pause here. Exhale, just touch down, right hand, right corner of the mat, left toe, left corner of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, touching down. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, touching down. Last time, inhaling, reaching out long. And then exhale, let's bring hands back together, back into our neutral tabletop. Rise up off of the wrist. Let's flick them out. And then rise up as we reach up with both arms. Good deep inhale. Exhale down just the right arm. It's so good to see you all on Zoom. Reaching up, inhaling. You can see lots of people. Let's exhale and head over to the right side. So reaching longest through the left middle fingers. Let the energy travel from the fingertips all the way down the side of the body now. So we'll do this pose in 3 ways. Coming up, good deep inhale. It gives you an opportunity to explore your body and lengthening. Exhale down your left arm. Rising up now with the right arm. Let's head over to the left side now with the right hand. Reach and extend. You can even open up by slightly taking that right hand behind you. That helps really lengthen the right side of the body, and you might even get a psoas stretch here. Coming back, good deep inhale, both arms up. Take a circle with the wrists, and then let's come back to tabletop. Pause here for just a second. Take that left hand back in the middle of the mat, left knee in the middle of the mat. Let's bring that right leg long one more time. Rise up with that right arm. Good deep inhale, and an exhale. Inhale as you raise that right leg up now. Right leg's up to hip height, and we start to kick out with that right heel. We're going to take some micro pulses up and down as we inhale in and exhale out. Good deep inhale. Maybe you take a look up toward that outstretched hand. That way you're able to open up the front of the chest a little bit more. Now let's paint the face of an analog clock with the heel, right? So just making a small circle. Good deep inhale. And an exhale. Another good deep inhale here, and an exhale down right leg. Right arm comes up and over the body. One last stretch. Let's come back down, circle the hand back, come back to tabletop, and let's go to the other side. Right hand in the middle of the mat, right knee in the middle of the mat, left leg long. Rise up with that left arm to 12 o'clock. Inhaling as we draw that left heel up, hip height. Inhaling in, micro pulses, exhaling out. Opening up the front of the chest by leaning back just slightly if it feels okay. Tiny micro pulses. So as you do, you're kicking out with that left heel, you're flexing that left buttock and hip, really starting to feel stronger in that left leg, right? And then a tiny circle with that left heel now. You can go very slowly. There's no reason to go fast. We're just focusing on making that circle. Another good deep inhale in, and an exhale, left foot comes down, left arm comes up and over the body to stretch, and then we'll circle the arms over and down. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog here. So we're going to tuck our toes under and start to push the hips up toward the ceiling. If downward facing dog is not in your practice, then stay in tabletop for another minute, and we'll all meet into a standing pose. If you happen to be practicing from a chair, you can just start to hinge the hips backward and still get a stretch in the hamstrings like we're doing in downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal the feet if that feels good. You may be able to send one heel down a little bit lower that way. And you breathe here, taking an inhale in and an exhale out, allowing some release in the hamstring. Start to notice the weight that you're placing in the palm of your hands. So maybe you're dumping all the weight into the heel of the hand. Gently start to rock the weight toward the forefinger and thumb so that you might evenly distribute the weight in the hands. Gently take the left foot slightly off the mat as you sink that right foot down. Really using that standing leg. Left foot comes down, and now gently bring that right foot up. And right foot comes down. Let's gently start to walk the toes up toward the hands. We'll come into what we call a half lift, right? As we start here, just allowing the head to be in a neutral position before we come all the way up to standing. Exhale as you forward fold, and let's inhale all the way up to standing. Reaching up, good deep inhale here, and an exhale down. So just like we were doing in our Sukhasana, and then again on hands and knees, rise up as we inhale. Exhale down our right arm. Rise up as we root down with that left hand. Let's head over to the right side with the stretch. Coming back up as we inhale, good deep inhale here. Exhaling down our left arm. Rise up with that right arm. So we start to root down, make the connection with the right foot, let the energy travel all the way up to the right fingertips. Let's head over to the left side. We start to C-shape or banana shape the body, so we start to even push out that right hip maybe a little bit, getting a deeper stretch. We'll come back, both arms as we inhale, and then an exhale down. Just roll the shoulders back for a moment, and roll the shoulders forward. Rise up with the arms on the inhale. Let's step in and out of a few warriors together. We'll exhale. We find weight in that left foot, drawing that right knee up on the inhale. Right knee is bent, right foot is flexed. Next time we inhale as we grow taller on that left side, and as we exhale, let's step back into warrior one, reaching up with the arms. That right foot is about 45 degrees as you hinge into that left knee. We rise up and extend, both arms come up. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's inhale deeply now, and as we exhale, just send that right arm down, touching the back of that right hamstring, and reach up higher with that left arm as you maybe sink into that left knee a little bit more. Rise up on the inhale, straightening that left leg, flexing that left foot, and rise up a little higher, lengthening the left side of the body. Inhaling in and exhaling. Good deep inhale, both arms come up, settling into that left knee bent. Good deep inhale. Exhale, hands to prayer. Let's come up to the top of the mat, and then we'll go over to the other side. Inhaling in, we'll exhale and come into what we call Tadasana, right? Our mountain pose. Feet are about parallel, or feet can be touching one another in your Tadasana of your choice. In Tadasana, we start to root down with the feet and rise up through the body. Chest expands, the heart opens to the possibilities of your practice. That's where we are, your mountain pose. Good deep inhale as we rise the arms up. Exhale, we'll start to bring that left knee up. Now hands come to prayer, flexing that left foot. As we do this, we use the abdominal core, right, to bring that left leg up. So that way when we're going to do something else, like kicking out that left foot, we have that ability to really access the abdominal muscles. Growing taller on the right side, so we're not sinking into that right hip, it gives us power to then stand back and bring that left leg back, coming into our warrior one. You can shimmy that right foot over slightly toward the right side of the mat if that feels good. And again, that back left foot's at 45 degrees in your warrior one. We rise up as we reach up and extend. Exhaling down just the left arm, hinging into that right knee, rising up with the right arm. Good deep inhale here. And an exhale, let's bring both arms coming up. Inhaling as we grow taller with the left and right middle fingers. And then exhale, let's bring our hands to prayer and come to the top of the mat. Inhaling in. Exhaling, Tadasana, arms down beside us. Reaching up and extending, both arms come up. Exhale, hands to prayer, right knee comes up. So here we'll grow taller on the left side, and as we exhale, let's kick out that right foot. We challenge ourselves to bring right foot up to hip height. If we're down here, that's great, no worries. But challenging yourself to bring that up so that you utilize that quadricep muscle. Let's come back on the next breath. Right knee's bent. Exhale, kick out. Inhale, come back. Exhale, kick out. Inhale, coming back. Again, growing taller on that left side with each time you breathe. Exhale, kicking out. Inhale, coming back. Last time as we exhale, kicking out. And inhale, coming back. Good deep inhale. Growing taller on the left side. Let's exhale, step back to warrior one. Reach up. Inhaling in. Exhaling, hands to prayer. Right foot comes to meet the left. Inhaling. And exhaling, Tadasana. Inhaling with arms up, reaching up. Exhaling, hands to prayer, left knee comes up. Inhaling, growing taller on the right side. Exhaling, kicking out, left foot to hip height. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, kicking out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, using the core. Exhale, kicking out. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, let's step back, warrior one, reach up. Good deep inhale, take a look up with gratitude. Exhale, let's come back, left foot to meet the right, hands to prayer. We'll go into warrior two as we inhale in. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhaling, arms come up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to prayer, right knee comes up. Good deep inhale, growing taller on the left side. And exhale, let's step all the way back into warrior two. We windmill our arms up and over the body. So that back foot is perpendicular to the front. Right? We start to hinge into that left leg if it feels good to us tonight. Good deep inhale here. Lots of nuances now. So you can engage the pelvic floor muscles as you stand in this kind of deeper position. You can do that by inhaling in, and then as you exhale, contracting the pelvic floor muscles. For women and for men, this is, right? We sink into that left leg if it feels good, and we feel that left quadricep. Again, here we could flex that right buttock too, so that we feel the strength of that right leg. Inhaling in. Exhaling, flipping the front palm, keeping the left knee bent. Let's reverse our warrior as we rise up. Good deep inhale. And an exhale. Inhaling, let's straighten that left leg, flex that left foot, rise up a little bit higher. Toes off the mat. And as we exhale, let's come back to warrior two. Good deep inhale as we broaden the collarbone, reaching out long with symmetry between the back arm and the front arm. And as we exhale, let's take the forearm to top of thigh and rise up with that right arm as we inhale in. Exhale, right arm up and over the body. Wiggle your toes so you're not death gripping the mat. Inhaling. And as we exhale, take the right hand to the right hip, straighten that left leg and gently bring that right foot just a couple of inches in the front. Reach out again with that left arm as you inhale in. And as you exhale, start to hinge over and then gently start to drop that left hand down towards 6 o'clock, right arm up to 12 o'clock. We'll come into a bit of a triangle pose here, a little modified version. Again, start to take a look up. So you can take the back of your hand, press into that inner knee, and start to rise up with that right arm. Come back. As we come back into our warrior two arms, inhaling, exhaling, right foot comes to meet the left. Let's be hands in prayer. Good deep inhale here. And an exhale, Tadasana. Let's go to the other side. As we inhale, reaching up, both arms come up. Exhale, hands to prayer, left knee comes up. Inhaling, growing taller on the left side, and exhaling, come all the way back into your warrior two, reaching the arms up and over with the windmill, and we start to take a drishti, a look over our right middle finger. Sinking into that right knee. Again, inhaling, you could exhale and start to engage the pelvic floor muscles here. And then soften as we inhale in. Let's exhale, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. As we sink into that right knee still. Again, you could flex that left buttock, wiggle your toes so you're not gripping the mat. Sink into that right knee again. Good deep inhale. Exhale. Let's straighten that right leg now and flex the right foot, bringing the toes up toward the sky, heel on the floor, rise up with that right hand. And then let's sink back to warrior two, arms, right knee bent. As we inhale in, let's exhale right forearm to top of thigh and rise up with that left hand to 12 o'clock. Inhaling, and exhale, left arm comes up and over the body. Reach long, good deep inhale. And on the exhale, left hand to left hip, gently bring that left foot forward a couple of steps. Rise out again with the arms to your warrior two, arms. And on the next breath, start to hinge forward over that right foot and drop that right hand now down to 6 o'clock, left hand up to 12 o'clock, and rise up into a modified triangle version. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. You could gently press in with the back of that right hand to the knee, and then rise up a little higher with the left hand. On the next breath, let's come back to warrior two, arms. And then gently start to bring the left foot up to meet the right, hands to prayer. Good deep inhale here. We're going to make our way down to the floor. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhaling with arms up, we reach up and extend. Let's exhale as we forward fold. Pause here for just a second. Gently start to bring the weight toward the ball of the feet if it feels okay to you, and then rock the weight slightly back toward the heels, lifting the toes off. Inhale up to a halfway lift, feet on the ground. Exhale as we forward fold and bring our buttocks down to the mat. We'll be here for just a moment before we go into Shavasana, our final rest. So just taking a moment, here we are in what we call bridge pose. For any new beginners, this is a wonderful way just to start to learn some of the poses that we do in yoga. So bridge pose is about feet hip width distance apart, soles of the feet are on the mat, knees are bent. You could gently find some alignment by, with your fingertips, feeling the heels of the feet. If that's not what your knees allow, then kind of be in that general direction of heels close toward the buttocks, only if the knees allow. Take a moment just to settle in on your back, right? We've been moving now a little bit, and so just taking a moment to do nothing. Allow the back to settle. Maybe you slightly tilt the pelvis up, allowing the lower back to flatten on the mat, and then just allowing that natural S-curve to occur in the lower back. Let's move this bridge a little bit. So this will be more of a dynamic bridge. We'll inhale in as we start to lift the hips up off the mat toward the ceiling. Take a moment now to take one heel, left heel off the mat, and then the other heel. Now take the toes off the mat, and then bring the toes down. Push the hips up a little bit higher now. So now we feel that grounding, rooting down, and rising up of the hips. Exhale, coming down. Let's inhale and push up, reach up. And as you do, you can squeeze the buttocks, squeeze the tops of the thighs to make it a little more dynamic for you, right? Or you don't have to at all. Do what feels good to you tonight. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming down. So some nights we'll do this with a block in between our legs, and we can also do that with a pillow in between our legs, or even an exercise ball. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, coming down. So it's almost like you have an imaginary ball or block in between your legs, so the knees are feeling like there's magnets attached, but your knees aren't actually together. That way you're using inner thigh as well. Let's start the arms with the hips. So we'll inhale, start to bring the arms up to 12 o'clock, and then arms are going to come all the way over the body. As you do now, maybe you're able to push your hips up a little bit higher with your arms overhead. And then exhale, coming down. So as you do, point the fingers up so they're not flaccid, they're really being active arms. Inhale as we bring the arms overhead, pushing up with the hips to your fullest expression. Exhale, coming down. Inhaling, hips up, arms overhead. And exhale, coming down. Inhale, pushing up, arms overhead. And exhale, coming down. Last time, inhale, arms overhead, push up. And exhale, coming down. Notice if you've just traveled a little bit. Sometimes I do that, and so you can start to bring the buttocks back toward the heels again if the feet and the knees allow you. Start to bring the edges of the inner feet together. So bring the knees together and bring the feet together. Start to bring the knees out wide like you're opening the page of an open book. Hands are down beside you, and then start to bring the knees back together. Bring the knees out and come back. Exhale. Inhale, bringing the knees out. Exhale, coming back together. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. This time bring the knees out and bring the feet together so that you feel the soles of the feet touch. The knees come out like pages of an open book, and we'll just stay here for a moment. Once we all have blocks or something, we can start to take these blocks and place them right underneath the thighs, and that'll be more of a restorative stretch that we'll do later on in our practices. There's so many different things that we can do with our blocks that become a really nice accompaniment to our practice. Now this time, inhaling, starting to bring the knees together, you'll notice that with the soles of the feet together, you have a little more resistance. So just bring them in as far as they'll go, and you notice you start to use the inner thigh muscles. And then exhale, let's come out. Let's inhale, starting to bring the knees slightly together, and then exhale, pushing out. Inhaling, coming together, and maybe you start to flatten the lower back, send the pelvis up. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, bringing the knees slightly together, and then exhale, coming out. Last time, inhale, coming in slightly together, and then exhale, coming out. Drag the feet so that they come wider than the mat now. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on whatever surface that mat is lying on. And so we notice what that is, right? We start to feel the texture of a carpet or a hardwood floor or a rug, whatever it might be. Just noticing the difference of your feet, and again, being present with where you are as you feel the texture of the feet on that surface. Inhaling in, let's exhale and send the knees over toward the right side of the mat now. We're just windshield wipering them over. So now there's lots of different nuances here that we can start to add to this particular stretch. We could slightly bring the left heel up toward the left buttock if we wanted a deeper outer thigh stretch on the left side. We could also cactus arm the arms, goalposting or cactusing the arms out beside us. Allowing the shoulders to settle. If we wanted to intensify the stretch further, we could bring our arms all the way overhead, or maybe even grab the elbows of the arms as we send our arms overhead. So there's lots of ways to intensify the stretch if that's what you need. Tonight's your Monday night body, so see what you need tonight and go there. Good deep inhale here. Exhale. Inhaling, let's bring the knees up toward the ceiling, and we'll gently bring the knees over to the left side now. And again, set yourself up for this side. This side might be completely different, and without any judgment or any dialogue, just kind of noticing where you need, what you need. Or maybe even noticing your limitations of this side of your body. Either way, it's okay. Love starts with ourselves, right? Find what you need with your arms. Remember your breath. You can gently, if you want, even to start to press on the inside edge of that right foot to send the right kneecap down, even if it's in your mind's eye. On the next breath, bringing the knees up toward the ceiling. And let's do a quick figure 4 so we can do a little bit of stretching here. Tonight I'm not really using any props for those who might not have them, but just to start to introduce you to what we can use, and then that way tomorrow or the next day you might have those that are available to you. With our left hand, just gently press that left knee away from the body. Sole of that right foot is on the mat to start. On the next breath, we're going to take the right foot off the mat and come into a figure 4 stretch, taking our hands to the back of the hamstring, right hamstring. Gently just make a little rocking motion over from one side to the other, and you may feel that left hip a little more. With each breath in and out, maybe you're able to draw that right knee in toward the chest. Taking a good breath in, let's make a circle with that right ankle on the exhale. Sole of that right foot could even come up toward the ceiling for a nice hamstring stretch, and we could point and flex the foot. Again, lots of different offerings of what you could do. Right foot comes down toward the mat, left foot comes down. And then let's go over to the other side. Let's take our right foot to our left knee. Gently with our right hand, sole of that left foot's on the mat, we'll just press that right knee away from our bodies. Just kind of sets us up. And for some of us, you might not want to take your left foot off the mat, right? So you decide what feels good to you, what your body is able to do. As we inhale in, let's take the left foot off the mat if that's where you're going. Thread your hands through the back of that left hamstring. And we start to draw that left knee in toward the body. On the next breath, we'll take a circle with that left ankle. And maybe even bring that left foot, sole of that left foot, up toward the ceiling. We can point and flex that left foot. And then left foot can come back down. Hold that left leg, bringing left knee in toward the body a little bit more. And then left knee is going to come down, and right foot's going to come down. Let's bring the legs long now for just a moment, inhaling with arms overhead. Good deep inhale, reaching long. As we exhale, rounding the arms around and catch that left knee. Hug that left knee in toward the body. Again, point and flex that left foot. We'll just bring that left knee across the body, side to side for a moment, feeling that left hip as we internally and externally rotate. And then with our right hand, let's take our left knee and bring that left knee across the body and start to T-shape out that left arm. Left palm will be up. And as always, I offer you to offer up a little good wish, good loving kindness to someone that you know who might need it tonight. You can say that person's name. In this twist, that opportunity to take an inhale in, letting the belly expand, and then contract back. Again, so good for our digestion and our elimination. Bringing that left knee back up toward the chest, hugging it in, taking a circle of that left ankle, and then gently bringing that left leg down and hugging that right knee in toward the chest. Just switching it out, circling that right ankle. Gently windshield wipering the knee across the chest. It helps us just get our head into the movement of this leg. And then we'll gently bring that left knee across the body, catching in our left hand, T-shaping out that right arm. The right arm rests gently on the mat as we outstretch. Good deep inhale here. And an exhale out. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Belly expands and contracts. On the next breath, drawing that right knee back in toward the chest, circling that right ankle, and then right foot comes down to meet the left. Bringing our arms overhead as we rise up, inhaling. Taking opposite hand and opposite foot off the floor, reaching and extending. like you're doing a good morning stretch. Hands down beside us. Let's start to take our knees in toward our chest. Gently hugging it in, taking a little rock back and forth from side to side. Bringing the feet up toward the ceiling. Eventually we'll be doing some abdominal work. Tonight we're just going to do something really gentle. Hands are going to be down beside us. We'll gently point the toes up toward the ceiling. And just like we were doing when we were in our side angle pose, we're going to draw the face of an analog clock with our toes. Now as you do and your toes come up toward the crown of your head, use the abdominal core to start to crunch in. Again, as you start to make that rounding, notice if you're holding tension in your shoulders. So really focus on the core as you're drawing that circle. And then let's go in the opposite direction. So with our legs up, we also get that added benefit of gravity, moving the fluid into a different direction, right? Down to our lymphatic system. This cluster of grape-like sacs that are right outside of our groin area that help us transport our white blood cells and our fatty acids, right? And other things. They help us move fluid, move waste, and this helps us move things in a different direction to kind of prompt those areas to do their job. Let's pause here with the toes up toward the ceiling and start to bring the feet out in the shape of a V. Take the hands down to the inner kneecaps and let the back rest on the mat, lower back. Just point and flex the feet coming into this V shape. Make a pendulum with the ankles and toes. Motion rather. Circles with the ankles if that feels good. Take a good deep inhale in and an exhale out. Feet come back up toward the ceiling and gently start to bring the feet down toward the floor using the core without crashing to the floor. Arms overhead as we inhale in, and then exhale, we're going to start to C-shape the body, taking the feet, both feet over toward the right corners of the mat, right hands and left hand over to the right corner of the mat. And gently with our right hand, we're going to just grasp our left wrist and give it a little reach. And we breathe, feeling that extension along the body. So now we've done this pose in 3 different directions and just kind of sensing what that feels like. Coming back, extending and reaching back to our midline, pressing the calves into the mat, toes come up toward the ceiling, and then we'll gently start to bring our feet over toward the left corners of the mat, hands over toward the left corners of the mat. And then gently with our left hand, we'll grasp our right wrist and reach a little longer. Again, feeling that light, nice extension as we C-shape our body. We'll come back to the midline, inhaling. And now as we exhale, we'll swim our hands down beside us and come into the Shavasana of our choice. Again, I'm going to give you some options. So you can be right here in this supine position, hands down beside you. We start to bring our feet toward the edges of the mat and just find that release. You can take a blanket and cover up your body if you start to feel cold on the floor. Set yourself up for a few minutes to go into a meditation and then also a deep relaxation, which I'll guide you to. Other options for you are to come back into our bridge pose with soles of the feet on the mat, lifting the hips off the floor. If you happen to have a block, placing it along the lower sacrum, bringing the legs up. And coming into a restorative Viparita Karani with legs up. You can also do this same posture if you happen to have an available wall by sitting close to the wall and bringing the legs up the wall. And then allowing some release with hands down beside you. So lots of opportunities here. The last one is if you were using a chair, you can use that chair to bring the calves to the seat of the chair and then allow the back to soften. So however you arrive in your position tonight, be there. Just be. Taking good deep inhale in and an exhale out, allowing the shoulders to soften. A quick body scan allows you to soften, maybe from the crown of the head, the jaw, the shoulders, holding any tension in the abdomen or the buttocks, just giving it a little release. You give yourself permission to be, to relax. If you happen to be seated, that's good too. Take a moment to make sure that you're in a comfortable position so you have support and you feel good where you're seated. The eyes can be closed or the gaze can be soft. The interactions that we have with each other are sometimes more challenged right now in COVID with the masks that we wear. One of the things that I've been doing personally is to really focus on the practice of presence with the people that I interact with, whether it be somebody in the grocery store, a patient that I encounter, a colleague, or a family member. So I chose to pick the reading tonight from one of my colleagues, a meditation specialist named Aurora Hutchinson. And she wrote this piece a while back on choosing your response. So I wanted to read that in our meditation for tonight. You just focus on your breath and listen to the words. Maybe they might resonate with you as they have with me. This past week, the subject of relationships has been at the forefront of my mind. From those with family and friends, co-workers, or even the casual interactions that occur on a daily basis. It is through the magic alchemy of relationship that we come to know ourselves. Through the mirror of relationship, we see our beauty, realize our fears and insecurities, and come to know our strengths and best attributes. And although we stand physically separate from each other, knowing the world through the lens of our individual perspectives, we share more in common than not. We all want to be seen and to be heard, to feel happy and safe, to love and be loved. Relationships, when approached with mindfulness, can be very powerful. Focusing deliberately in the moment without judgment may not only open the door to understanding and compassion, but also lead to profound healing. When approached from this perspective, acceptance without expectations is possible. Forgiveness replaces anger. Kindness and appreciation are effortless. And trust and unconditional love arise because we see each other and ourselves in the only moment that matters, right now. In this moment of now, all things are possible. Like choosing to be the best person that one can be. Fears of an anticipated future can fall away, and miracles can happen. Viktor Frankl writes that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. So this week, consider this practice before responding to someone, regardless of the situation. It only takes a couple of minutes to get centered. Arriving in the moment, feel the breath move through your body. Notice the deep breath within the belly and grounding through the hips and legs. Feel the four corners of your feet. From this centered place, notice the sensations arising from your heart. Breathing into the heart, noticing the response that feels appropriate. Trust and speak it. Choosing this response allows you to show up in an authentic way. And when you give yourself this gift, you allow the other person to do the same. Peace. Peace to you. Slowly start to make some movement to your fingers and to your toes. We start to wake the body up, continuing this practice, finishing together. Make your way over to your right or to your left side, cradling your head in your arm. Loving kindness starts with you, and then it transmits to every person and being that you touch along the way. When you're ready, start to make your way up to a comfortable seat to finish our practice. Keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft. We sit ourselves back up just like we started in Sukhasana, in an erect and dignified posture. Let's take one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly for a moment. A quick body scan might allow you to tune in to how you're feeling in this moment. Having found some movement, some breath work, some mindfulness, some rest. You do not need to know what's precisely happening, right? Or exactly where it's all going. What you need to recognize is the possibilities and challenges offered by this present moment, and to embrace them with courage, faith, and hope. That's from Thomas Merton. Let's bring our hands together. We share the word namaste at the end of the practice. Nama means bow, and te means I or I. So I bow to you, you bow to me. Let's inhale as we take our hands, our chin up, and then bow together, sharing the word namaste. Thank you all so much for sharing this practice with me tonight. I look forward to practicing again with you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to focus on hips and lower body, and then the next day we'll focus on upper body and so on. So thanks so much for starting this 21-day challenge with me, and I hope you all have a great evening. Good night.